Hello there. What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be using Ryan Kingston's Fleet Builder, and we're going to be doing a build for a Superstar Destroyer with Jerjerrod as our commander. So while I pull this up, let me remind you guys about the Armada giveaway. I'm giving away 4 Armada promos, and those are also being given away simultaneously on Patreon as well. So you can have a chance to win here, or you can also have a chance to win as well on Patreon. I've got 2 sets of these promos, and it's a Victory, a Gladiator, a GR75, and a Nebulon. We're giving away the ship cards for those. So yeah, I'm going to announce those before Gen Con. So make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment to enter to win that. That's what it takes, is just be a subscriber and leave a comment specifically on one of my Armada videos. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this build. I wanted to go ahead and, I figure with SSDs, people are saying that they've been kind of play testing them a little bit. I've been play testing them a little bit. One of the things is that they can be taken down. They're not too much of a tournament threat. I think they're going to be more for fun games, but one of the ways you're going to try to approach these guys and take them down is by going around and getting out of the front arc and kind of outmaneuvering these ships that don't really have the ability to maneuver. So I figured let's go ahead and put Jerjerrod on this one and try and see if we can beat somebody trying to outmaneuver us. So we're going to start off. We're going with the cheaper one, the command prototype, because I figured, hey, let's go cheap and let's try and fit other stuff into this build. Now for squadrons, I'm going light on squadrons. Only going to go with 2. One of them is going to be a cheap TIE fighter. Very, very cheap TIE fighter, just disposable, but the other one is going to be a little more expensive, also generic, but I am going to use one of our newer squadrons. So I'm going to go with the Gauntlet Fighter. And the reason for the Gauntlet Fighter, I feel like the assault tokens might be very, very helpful against other super star destroyers if you are during like launch week or whatever when the SSDs come out. I feel like assault tokens might really do a lot of damage to an SSD, considering just how much they're able to do with their commands. So I feel like if you can deny them even one command, you're doing a terrible disservice to this superstar destroyer. So that's going to be my squadron presence. Kind of small, but I had to save points for other things. Now, if somebody is able to outmaneuver us, I figured I wanted a demolisher on there, and I chose some interesting things here. So we're gonna have some fun with this demolisher build, and this demolisher build is going to be kind of standard. We're going to run demolisher title. We're going to run ordnance experts, and I'm going to run assault protons. But I'm going to toss another officer on here. I'm going to toss Admiral Titus on this ship. Admiral Titus is going to be used for a couple of reasons. One of those reasons is we want to stop people from trying to outmaneuver us. Titus gives us the ability to slow another ship down. So when they drop their own Gladiator or their CR90s or their Architons at speed 3 trying to swing around our front arc, we can slow them down just a little bit and potentially hopefully slow down a big ship just a tad. Now with that being said, the other reason Titus is on there is because my third ship is going to be a Gazanti, and I'm going to have Vader on board as an officer. Since I'm not going to get rerolls out of Jerjerrod, I'm going to have Vader be a big re-rolling factor for me, and I'm going to be trying to use a lot of cheaper officers that I can potentially use to go ahead and get extra re-rolls. And since Vader's only 1 point, it's just really, really nice option here. So in the case of this demolisher, we're actually going to have 2 re-rolls. We're going to have that ordnance experts reroll, but having Titus on board is going to also allow us to be a little bit risky and really, really fish for that maximum damage potential by going ahead and doing the Titus bonanza here. So so basically choking him out if ordnance experts fail us. So that's a kind of a fun thing. Now, I would possibly suggest maybe dropping ordnance expert if you needed the 4 extra points somewhere else. You could try and swing just running a single officer on here and for basically a one-shot of rerolls. However, that is very risky. But, if you really need the points, that's a way to live dangerously. But this is giving us a little bit of extra padding to kind of limit how much luck is going to impact this build. With that said, let's look at the officers we're going to put on the Superstar Destroyer, because we're going to have a couple there. That's how we're going to get primarily our rerolls. Now, our first one is going to be Admiral Ozzel. At the start of the first round, you may execute a Speed 1 maneuver. This is going to be really, really, really good to use with Jerjerrod, because you can do that hard one turn, or that hard 2-click turn at Speed 1, which is going to give you a tremendous amount of maneuverability, and that's going to be very, very helpful, especially since people are going to try and get out of your front arc. They don't know which way you're going to be. It gives you a tremendous amount of flexibility with your deployment, so that is a very good thing. Secondly, we're going to put Emperor Palpatine on here. You're obviously going to take a lot of shots on this SSD, so the Emperor being on board is going to let you exhaust a couple of those tokens, so punishing them for shooting you and saying maybe instead you want to try to take shots at the Gazanti over here, right? And hopefully we can keep the Demolisher out of range. And that's another thing, is like they're going to be trying to outmaneuver you, and whichever side of the board you end up deploying on, you can deploy the Gladiator on the side you think they're most likely going to try to come around. You can keep that Demolisher safe, and when somebody does swing around to get out of your front arc and move to your side arcs, you can have the Demolisher punish them by just kind of playing that reserve role. Or just choose to send them in, full speed ahead, but that's awfully risky. Now, since you are going to be getting attacked an awful lot, I figure maybe we'll put Commander Geraint on here, who is another one of the new officers that's going to be coming here. And he's saying, while you're defending, the defender cannot resolve critical effects. After you perform an attack against a ship, discard this card. Now, I know a lot of people are thinking, well, there's certain officers you must put on the SSD, and it's like, for example, Damage Control Officer, which definitely seems like a must-have. However, I really think Geraint is going to be even better, potentially, because they can't do any crits at all, but that's only when you're defending. You can wait, and they get that first round of attacks off, and now you go ahead and attack. And while you're attacking, instead of discarding him after you attack, while you're attacking, you have Vader choke out Commander Geraint, give you that reroll. Geraint and Vader work really, really well together, because he gives you a ton of defense until you're ready to attack, and then when you do attack, you can choke him out for offense as well. So it's just a tremendous, tremendous combo. And while I don't have Damage Control Officer on here, he is kind of giving you that same effect. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and look at the rest of the stuff we're going to put on this ship. We're going to obviously go with gunnery teams. We want to maximize, that front arc if we can manage it. And even the left and right are not terribly bad. But we want to try and maximize those good arcs before an opponent gets around to our auxiliary and our rear. We also, in an attempt to try to slow them down, we're going to put Phylon Q7 tractor beams on the SSD. And this is going to slow a ship down, especially before those Gauntlet Fighters can get out there and try to stop them from speeding back up. And if we can manage that, and this is going to be a sweet little spot together if we can manage it, now that Gauntlet Fighter and those Q7 tractor beams can really slow a ship down, especially something like maybe a Demolisher that wants to try to come and get us. And if we do slow them down, that's going to allow Jerjerrod to really help us wreak havoc on some of these ships that think that they're super fast and flexible, but we can kind of shut them down. All right, so that is that's almost everything. We're going to put a little bit more on here. We're going to put XI7s to make, when those attacks do happen, when those attacks do occur, we're going to make sure that that our opponents have the most difficult time trying to deal with them. And XI7s is always a good choice when you're not sure. When in doubt, XI7s is a great option. There's very, very few ships in the game that it isn't particularly helpful. Like, it's not particularly helpful against Nebulons or flotillas, but you might have enough firepower to just punch through those regardless. And for our final 2 points, I think we'll go to the Gazanti down here, and we'll toss Commsnet on there to hand out some tokens. That's always a good bet to go with, because tokens are useful just about everywhere. whether it's an extra reroll or an engineering to kind of make up for some of those spent shields you used for Jerjerrod, which I think is probably a good way to go. Or even an extra reroll for the Gladiator, or engineering even for the Gladiator. This is just giving you some extra options that you can always use for virtually whatever you want. But yeah, that is the build. It's a Jerjerrod kind of letting you turn directly at the enemies, trying to slow them down between the Phylon and the Mandalorian Gauntlet Fighter, and getting your rerolls in through Vader Officer, and choking out some of these officers. Like Ozzel is obviously going to be probably maybe your first choice, since he only works at the beginning of the game. Titus also only works at the beginning of the game. Garant, you wait until you are about to attack, then you use Garant. Maybe he's actually your first choice. Palpatine will be your last choice, because he is awfully useful. And, Vader's, not in a super big hurry to strangle his master, but then when the thoughts of Padme arise, he loses it. He loses himself into the dark side, chokes out his master, assumes control of the Empire, and kind of reigns supreme from his little Gazanti. All right, so that is the build. We can look at some objectives here for Assault. I think anytime we've got just a single Gazanti, I love doing Most Wanted. I think Most Wanted is going to be a great option here, because with 400 points, we have a pretty good chance of being second player. For our yellows, it's a little bit trickier. I feel like Fire Lanes is often a very, very good option, especially if we're going to try to restrict people to kind of one avenue of approach. The SSD will be really fun for that. So I do like that as an option. It might be a little bit interesting, but I feel like Fire Lanes would be a good one to go with. Fleet Ambush could also punish an opponent, especially with our lack of squadrons. We're not going to really suffer too much from the having to wait until the end for the squadrons. But I think I'll go with Fire Lanes for that one. It's a fun one for me. I enjoy Fire Lanes. And for our blue, I think we definitely want to try to let them go first. So I'm going to go with Solar Corona. I think Solar Corona is going to be one of the best options here. Although superior positions could work, but we don't have the ultra maneuverable stuff to really take advantage of superior positions. And if they did get behind our SSD, they would score a ton of points. So we're going to go with Solar Corona in this case, and those are our objectives, guys. That is the build. Go ahead and let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, enter to win that giveaway, and stay tuned. Click that bell for alerts so you don't miss when new videos come out. There's going to be a lot more Armada news coming out next week, so definitely stay tuned for that. Maybe they'll even surprise us with an early preview, and then Gen Con is only a few short weeks away, and then it's going to be lots and lots of news, maybe some early Gen Con releases, maybe a close-up look at whatever new ships are coming out, maybe some word on the Clone Wars. Cannot wait. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Also, head over to Patreon and check it out over there. If you're interested in becoming a supporter, you have extra chances to win the second set of promos that I'm giving away as well. So those are being given away over there, as well as just awesome stuff. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.